What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Double S NFL podcast. Week one is
On the
here.
horizon. Yeah.
It's
Um,
Monday night when we are recording this. This should go out on Tuesday.
all right. I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna go pretty quickly here, but my record predictions in very brief explanations for any of the surprising picks. You shouldn't disagree with the bottom. Seattle 2-15, 16th, and Houston 4-13, 16th.
I have Houston 3-14, but fine.
Yeah. Um, uh, Jacksonville, I got 5-12, 15th. Chicago 2-15, also 15th.
Can
I
you
think
explain the New England 6-11 for me, please?
I'm just not high on that roster at all. And I think with an aging O line, bad secondary, bad linebackers, bad receivers, the coaching is very bad. And I like Bill Belichick, but the offensive coaching is gonna be one of the worst we've seen recently with Joe Judge and Matt Patricia probably calling the show. And I just with the tough schedule, especially early on, they're clearly the worst team in the AFC East, in my opinion. 14th in the NFC, I have Atlanta 3-14. They're going to be bad, but I will say this about Atlanta: don't be shocked if they pull off a couple upset wins with the height they have on offense. Like I think like Kyle Pitts carry them to win. Giants 3-14. Browns without Watson for most of the year. I think they struggle, go 7-10. Lions 6-11, but I think it's a step in the right direction. I think once again they'll be better than the record shows. Jets 8-9, they're a much improved team, but I still think they're a tier away from a playoff team.
The Jets
Carolina,
are not better than the Patriots.
yes they are.
No, they're not.
They
As
are.
much as you want to believe that, they're not.
We'll see. Um, Carolina 6-11, like at one point earlier today, actually, I was gonna pick them to go 10-7 and grab the 60, but then I changed my mind. I just can't really see what's Matt
I
Rule.
don't think that's possible.
Yeah,
They're just
oh,
not good enough defensively.
yeah, I was thinking they could be last year's Bengals, but I doubt it. 11th in the AFC is the Dolphins. I think they kind of disappoint. I don't think Tua's the guy. I like McDaniel, but it'll take some time. Arizona, here's my probably the boldest of my picks. I just do not like the roster. I don't like the coaching. Schedule's tough. Like I don't see it this year with them. It's a pretty below average team.
Yeah,
Um,
our Arizona pick is very
Different.
different.
10th in the AFC. I think Tomlin's streak comes to an end, 8-9. Ninth in the NFC is Dallas without Amari Cooper and without some of their O line pieces.
Tyron Smith is out till December, I think.
I think they'll
And they
struggle a
signed
bit.
Jason Peters today.
I think Dallas starts off like 2-4. I think they go on a hot streak, but ultimately crash in week 18 when it matters the most. Um, Week 17 for that matter. Titans 8-9. They're just average. I don't love Tannehill. I don't hate him. It's basically my opinion on the whole team. They're just pretty average all around. Um, Washington, this might be surprising, but I think they'll be in the playoff hunt for most of the year. I like Carson Wentz.
I can see that.
Yeah,
See that.
9-8. Same thing with the Raiders. I just do not trust Josh McDaniels at all. 9-8. 7 seed, I have Green Bay at 11-6. I think that they could struggle a bit early on as Rodgers like struggles to find chemistry with his young receivers. He absolutely rips them apart after 1-2 start, and they get going a hot streak. Still don't win the division though. Baltimore 11-6. I think they start off hot, cool down, but ultimately they still make their way into a playoff spot. 6 seed, I had the Denver Broncos. I think this team is very, very good on paper. It's just a matter of number one coaching and number two, can Russ sustain an elite matter of play for the whole year, which I think he will this year. Rams at 11-6. This roster is pretty good, but it does have some holes, most notably the secondary outside of Ramsey. Number 5 is New Orleans Saints at 11-6. First year coach, but I think he'll do fine. The O-line concerns me. Other than that, this team is pretty stacked all around. I like Jameis a lot. 5, Kansas City. Almost gave them the AFC West, but I think the Chargers are a bit better. Eagles at 11-6. If Jalen Hurts can be a top 20 QB, There's no reason why this team can't go all the way. They're loaded almost everywhere except for QB and safety. Colts 11-6. I think they're pretty solid. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team. They're still a pretty surefire playoff team in my opinion, and they could pull off an upset in the playoffs. I like Matt Ryan, much safer option than Wentz. 3 seed. Here's a surprise. I have the Minnesota Vikings 12-5. Kevin O'Connell will take home the Coach of the Year honors. I think that offense is going to finally live up to their full potential. Bengals, no Super Bowl hangover for them. Bucks and Chargers, no surprise there. And the number 1 seed in the NFC is the Niners, and the Bills are pretty self-explanatory.
The Niners as the 1 seed.
I'm pretty high on Trey Lance, and I love Kyle Shanahan. The defense with Drake Jackson into the mix now is very, very solid too. I don't see why this team can't be 2 games better than they were last year.
Yeah, I'm gonna show off my picks.
See him.
Yeah, the bottom 4 teams in each conference, pretty self-explanatory. Texans will be bad. Seahawks will be bad with Geno at quarterback. They no longer have a Russell Wilson to bail them out.
Yeah.
And with a declining defense, they're going to be in for a rough year. Atlanta's issues are self-explanatory. The Jaguars' issues are self-explanatory, although I do have them getting a couple extra wins this year.
The Bears are
self-explanatory. The Giants are self-explanatory. The Jets aren't good enough yet, and the Browns are going to be pretty bad without Watson.
Yeah. What do you have the Browns record as when Deshaun comes back that week?
From the week he comes back, they go 5-1.
So they're 2-9.
Yes. 12 through 10. Detroit, I think they improved this year. I like what Dan Campbell has going for him. And I think that Detroit will improve on the win column and on the field. 12, I have Miami.
I have them 8-9
I
too.
think 2 is good. That 2 is going to be that good yet. I think that this year will be better than last, and I think 2023 is going to be even better. Carolina is an interesting team to look at. I have them at 6-11, but I could see them being as good as 9-8, potentially sneaking into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the same way I felt about them. With Matt Rule at coach, it's going to be tough.
Um, 11 seed I have in the AFC. I have Denver. I think this is the year we see Russell Wilson decline. He's a mobile quarterback, and mobile quarterbacks do not have as long of a shelf life. And I think this is the year we start to see some serious decline from him. 10 seed in the NFC, I have Washington. I don't see much of a difference between Wentz and Heineke.
That's where I do see a difference. I think Wentz is much more dynamic while throwing the football, and I think Heineke was just a turnover machine.
Wentz is also a turnover machine.
He had 7 picks last year.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe his baffling throws more.
Yeah, there are a couple of throws where you're like, what the hell is this guy doing?
But at the end of the day, I don't think they're going to be any better with him. 10 seed in the AFC, I have New England. I think New England is much better than you think they're going to be.
They're not going to be good at all.
We'll see about that. I think Mac Jones takes a massive leap forward. Although a offensive coordinator, they don't have one.
Yeah, that's what concerns me a lot.
9-8. 9 in the NFC, I have Dallas. They're going to decline from their season last year. They had great offensive production that I don't think they can replicate, no matter how good Dak looks. I think this is the year we see Tony Pollard to take over as a full-time RB1, or getting the majority of the carries is what I should say. Number 9 in the AFC, I have Pittsburgh. I think that
Tomlin streak lives.
Tomlin streak lives at least one more year. I think we could see him retire sooner rather than later.
I don't think he's still pretty young. I feel like
This is his 16th year in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but he's still like age wise. He's not like on the Pete Carroll, Belichick age. I think he'll stay for a little while.
8th seed in the AFC, barely missing out on the playoffs. I have the Raiders. I'm not the biggest fan of Josh McDaniels, but I don't think it'll hurt them that much.
I think the O line is gonna hurt them more.
Yeah, the O line is not very good. Number 8, we have in the NFC, we have the Arizona Cardinals.
I don't see them being in the playoff race. I'm
They
sorry.
were 11-6 last year.
And I just don't see it.
A lot of their talent is still here.
Is it still there? Yes, but the cornerbacks are questionable. Pass rushing depth is bad. The O line is pretty
the
bad.
same things last year when they went 11-6. Yes, their schedule is harder. Yes, they will decline, but
To
not
be fair,
as bad
I had them at 7-10 last year, so maybe they could prove me wrong. But I don't know.
Now we get into the playoff teams. Number 1 seeds are Buffalo and Tampa Bay. I think they're the best that in the league. But the issue with Buffalo is, can they go into a hostile environment in the playoffs and win? But if they get that 1 seed, they go in front of Bills Mafia through the playoffs. 2 seeds, I have the Bengals and Rams. I think the Bengals will stay relatively the same. I think they grab a couple extra wins. And the Rams, I think they're the same as last year. Stafford's elbow may cause concern, but I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
3 seeds, I have Kansas City and Philadelphia. They're both teams that are still good. Philly got a lot better this offseason. You cannot deny that. And Kansas City, I think with Mahomes there, there's no reason that they can't win the AFC West. 4 seeds, I have Indianapolis and Green Bay. This is Green Bay's, I think it's their final chance to win anything.
Yeah. If Green Bay isn't in at least the NFC Championship this year, their window's closed.
Their window is slammed shut in their face. There's nothing they can do about it. 5 seeds, I have the Chargers and 49ers. I think the Niners stay relatively the same. I think we see Trey Lance have some inconsistency throughout the season.
Do you think it could be better? Do you think it could be better than Jimmy G was last year?
I think he could be, but I think it'll be a struggle to get there. 6 seeds, I have the Ravens. Pretty self-explanatory why I have them there. But my 6 seed in the NFC, I have the New Orleans Saints at 9-8. This is a crucial year for Jameis.
It's basically his make or break year. He was good last year, but it was a small sample size.
I just don't know with his ACL injury and new coach what's going to happen. Dennis Allen was awful in Oakland.
But he wasn't given much talent either, to be fair.
Yeah, but he was still pretty shit.
He was
but I think this team isn't still talented enough to get into the postseason.
To be fair, his quarterback was Terrell Pryor, and like I don't think he'll be as
And rookie Derek Carr.
yeah.
Seven seeds, I have the Titans and Vikings.
I
I
think
think
they're
the Vikings slip into the playoffs in year one of the McConnell era. I think
yeah,
it needs time. I
and
think they
then
could use a new quarterback, but truly, I don't know where they get anything better.
exactly, yeah. Unless they get Lamar Jackson next year, I think they're around. I think
They'll
they're
be in the 8 to 10 win window for the next couple of years.
I think they'll be pretty good this year, but I don't think they'll go far in the playoffs.
My seventh seed in the AFC is the Tennessee Titans. I think that people are underrating them with Tannehill.
The receivers just they're
The
either
receivers do concern me, but I believe that Trey Burke is going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
oh wow, interesting pick.
I'm very high on him, and I believe that he and Robert Woods can make a good one too, and that could bring the Titans into. I think the AFC West and North are going to beat each other up so much. I think if the Titans can get to that 10 win plateau, they can get into the playoffs.
All right, that will do it for our record predictions. Now we will be back tomorrow. We're gonna do our week one game pick. Season's almost here.